Thank you. Is this thing on? Are we still awake? Okay. All right. So here I am. I'm Jen. I'm almost 40 years old, not as old as Mike, but and I'm about to get baptized again. The first baptism wasn't really my choice. It happened in the Italian Catholic Church in New Jersey, where I grew up. Anyone from New Jersey? No, not really. My parents later enrolled me in CCD, which is the Catholic equivalent of Sunday school. I learned Bible stories and memorized prayers. But alongside those weekly classes, my parents also signed me up for clarinet lessons, and I neither became a devout Catholic nor a woodwind virtuoso, so that's why I'm here. Fast forward to my adult life, which I would describe as aggressively secular. I lived in Washington, D.C. for many years, and I saw how faith could get tangled up in politics and used for division instead of unity. My encounters with Christians were often limited to the loudest voices, the ones with the megaphones outside baseball games or protesting Planned Parenthood where I volunteered on the weekends. My life in my 20s and 30s, I think looked pretty good on paper. I had an Ivy League education, stellar work reviews, my own place, friends, hobbies. But deep down, I felt like Paul describes in Ephesians, like a little child, tossed by the waves and blown about by every wind. I was ruled by my emotions, which were often anxious and depressed. And I was grasping for external validation wherever I could find it. There was a gaping hole that busyness, pride, and sometimes alcohol and manipulative relationships would tragically fill. At my absolute lowest, I drove myself to a psychiatric hospital because the only future I could see was one where I didn't exist. Around that time is when things started to shift. Stripped bare of my self-reliance, I was open to considering Jesus. It wasn't a lightning bolt moment, but more like a slow crackle of curiosity. I bought a Bible online, thinking it might be a self-help fix. It turns out Bibles are free, and you could just get one everywhere. So it's like a hot tip. And each step after that felt like a gentle nudge. A friend invited me to church. There was this Alpha program I heard about that was offering a free book. I like books and free things, so maybe Vignesh came for the food, but I was there for the book. Then I moved to Seattle, and I attended services at a mega church, drawn in by the concert lighting and dramatic background music, which made going to church seem slightly less uncool. There, some women invited me to Bible study, which continued online during COVID. During that time, I kept wanting to come back. The messages at church resonated, the Bible offered comfort, and the women I met at Bible study radiated peace and wisdom, and that's what I craved. Then one day after hearing a Christian author speak, I sheepishly told my husband, I think the resurrection might be real, like Jesus actually rose from the dead. And he started crying, but you already heard Mike's story. I'm not saying I've had an unwavering certainty every single day since then, but when I live as if it's true and approach life with faith as my compass, everything feels different. My father passed away unexpectedly last year, and in my grief and confusion, I kept turning back to Jesus. He's our comforter and the one who strengthens us in our weakness. Jesus' resurrection is God's victory over death itself. If death is not the end, then there's hope for something beyond the physical existence. Looking back, I see God's hand all over my journey. The church invitations, the Alpha course, finding this incredible community at Sideris. These amazing Christians are surprisingly normal, it turns out, if you can believe it. And from the first moment to consideration to where I am today, it's been over 7 years. That's a long time. And through it all, God never forced me, but he never abandoned me either. It's like he tells us, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in. Today, I'm here because I finally understand what it means to open that door and let Jesus in as a believer. I'm grateful for the opportunity to publicly confess my faith and take the next step. Thanks to God for his incredible love and patience.